Better connection. This doesn't have to be that loud. No, it's good.
Pro Sports returns after a couple of days off. Does anybody notice how you can help hurricane recovery efforts in southwestern Louisiana? Coronavirus approval could be coming very quickly, and celebrities have passed away in the last few days as well. All that and more coming up with the Wade and Carter Show.
So, are we going to talk about the Black Panther star?
Yeah,
that was a big deal. I mean, a lot of most liked tweet ever. There were pictures of him and Stan Lee, pictures of him and Kobe Bryant.
Wrong one.
Yeah,
I'm off a little
it's
bit.
Monday.
Yeah, that's all right. I got everything else. Morning, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Let's do this.
We say for everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. That may not be true. There may be some certain home items that you need. They may not have a mop. They might, though. They may not have food for you, but they've got seeds that you can grow. Deerland, for all your farm and ranch needs, all your pesticide needs.
Now's the time to stock up on all your fencing supplies. They can get everything for you.
Pet supplies. 81 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 96 under mostly sunny skies. Says it's the number one attribute of tomorrow, windy.
Nice.
A windy Tuesday. So just hot and muggy today. No worries. What do you got? Is this it?
Oh, well,
Monday?
I'm trying to get Facebook slow to open, so what do you got? You watched the golf yesterday.
I watched the end of the golf just because I don't have a problem with the PGA Tour. I think they've done a good job of
bringing things back.
Yeah, trying to bring things back safely. And golf is a social distance game, right? I mean,
for the most part,
not
you stand next to your caddy.
That's it. And you've got a good opportunity to spread out on a lot of acreage. I think it's unfortunate.
Except for the gallery that's jam-packed.
And I think it's unfortunate there's no gallery. I think, but I'll tell you this. In today's climate, if you were out there walking around in a mask, I'm telling you, you'd have people falling out from heat exhaustion. That's one of the things.
Yesterday was ridiculous.
Yeah, you couldn't play a PGA Tour event and have people walking around in full mask regalia. I still think it's dumb. People are like, oh, you're just not sensitive to other people because you don't want to wear a mask. Well, I'm still convinced that. Saw the other day where they've said that of deaths attributed to COVID, they've got the number down there where they think it's actually 6% of the deaths attributable to the COVID virus were actually caused by the COVID virus.
9,000 and something according to the CDC. Yeah. And the number always changes.
Think about that, folks. It's a crazy
well, and I don't know we're ever going to know that exact number because they're not autopsying everybody that dies.
And so it's all Trump's fault. You'll never know.
Amanda Blosky first went in. Marvin Mickish, good morning.
Saw Amanda Blosky yesterday. She and Mike came by and Blake came by and said hi to the boys. They had been a little splashway time.
That's every weekend for them.
Yeah, that's kind of they kind of call it just wasn't as ringy to call it Blosky Way. No. So they changed it to Splashway.
Scott Tomko, good morning. Jeremy Pena.
Right? Blashky, Splashway. Same. It's kind of
Lisa Poole, good morning. Chris Conrad checking in.
T-Lat's in. Good morning, Dawn Nicole.
Bobby Leister, good morning. Stephen Kidder, still holding steady at 92 YouTubers, according to the Leisterometer. Christina Wise, good morning. Let's see, Greg Garcia.
Is she talking about athletes or 92 YouTube? I don't know.
Dave Garza, good morning. Karen Webb. Nat Lemare, James Kerr says nobody cares about the pro athletes and their virtual. I think he meant virtue signaling.
Right.
H.R. Mallory checking in. Larry Leahy, good morning.
Yeah,
Astros gave to the woke mob.
I hate to see
good
that.
morning. Joe Gomez.
I don't know what Ash feels about that. I think baseball is the national pastime. It should be above politics. Which, I mean, I'm not saying it's fair, but like you say, school teachers can't strike. They're just too important. I don't think baseball players ought to be able to do that. I don't forget that while you think I'm being unfair, they have antitrust exemption.
Well, what's interesting
from the government.
They took 2 days off.
You think they just sat around and prayed for George Floyd and his family?
But they didn't lose the games. They're not losing the income generated from those games, right. The players. They just lengthened the season. It's not like they just said, well, we're not going to play 2 games and that's it. Well, NBA and NHL are in their playoffs. They took 2 days off. All it did was take a break during their playoffs. But baseball's 60-game season didn't reduce to 58 games, and the players take a pay cut. My biggest question, I don't recall seeing a story over the weekend at all of any of the pro athletes who decided to forfeit, take a break, do anything.
Visit a hospital for children. Probably can't do that.
Bridge the divide, further a cause. Maybe go take a course that would have them understand why it's hard to shoot for the knee, Joe Biden.
Right.
When you're in that situation. I didn't see a story on any of that. They sat back in their gated communities or in their bubbles and did nothing for 2 days.
Well, the problem, I made the comment to you, insensitive as it may be, that the only African American that I even know of, and by the way, I'm one thing I am proud of, I mean this as a nonpartisan comment. We have seen a minimization of the term African American. They're just Black Americans, white Americans, Black Americans, brown Americans.
I'd like to get to the point where it's just Americans.
Just America. Can't we just all be Americans, and then can't we all just work together? Which I think the vast majority, the RNC showed me a number of Black achievers, people that.
Philip Barone says they could have done it right along with law enforcement.
They sure could have, but I've seen a lot of Black Americans that there's no doubt it's a dog and pony show. The Republicans paraded them out there because it made the Republicans look good. But the stories are real of Black Americans who have, whether they've overcome or not, they have succeeded and thrived in this country. And by the way, you can go to other countries and see that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
No.
So on that note, I'm glad to see the phrase African American kind of going away, and just Black American, blacks, whites, yellows, whatever. Americans is the next step. We'll all just be Americans, and that's nice. But Michael Brantley's the only Black guy on the team. I mean, you said, well, some of those other guys, they don't identify as Black. They identify as Dominicans and
Venezuelans.
Yeah, they don't identify as Black. Not that they're, who cares if they're Black, brown, yellow, doesn't matter. I'm just saying the idea, I've made the comment all along that this Black Lives Matter deal is simply an outreach of opportunity by the Marxist left.
Here's the problem. You have legitimate cries for reform with police that overstep their bounds. And you have a movement founded by Marxists who only care that they want to be the ones in power so they can oppress everybody else. That's how Marxist works. That's how communism works. And until there's a separation between that, I think you're going to have people that have problems when some group throws $200 million at Black Lives Matter, but it goes to the Marxists who founded the organization, right, and not the efforts.
No, absolutely. Matt Evans just checked in from over in Deer Park and said he likes Magnanimous Monday. His brother just had a baby this weekend. You know Matt, but you don't know his brother.
I know his brother.
So this really, this doesn't. A lot of times on the show, Ash and I talk about things that only really appeal to us, and y'all just have to endure that. Now I'm going to a new level of low as I mention something that only matters to me, and that is that my buddy Brian Evans had, I think his name is Walker. I think his middle name was Texas Ranger.
Evans.
Walker, Texas Ranger Evans.
Makes sense.
Fantastic. Good for him.
Middle names. That'd be 2 middle names.
Right.
Unless they put it into
It's
one.
you hyphenate it.
You know, there's no hyphenation.
You can't?
No.
So big week coming up. We the people that we think may come
join
in.
us.
Donald Trump may come in. It's possible that Republican Chair Alan West may join us. We reached out to Coach Orgeron from LSU. He said, I don't do radio in Texas. Go Tigers. And he didn't have much to say. I don't know. I reached out to him, though.
He didn't say anything.
Yeah, I sent him a tweet. I got nothing back. How about that?
Yeah,
He didn't even send back, go Tigers. So
that was it.
I got nothing.
So Cliff Robertson passed away over the weekend.
Uncle Cliffy,
Yep.
NBA great.
Portland Trailblazers star.
A good mentor to players, too. Good guy.
Probably the precursor to today's big man in a way. Had a nice outside touch. I remember watching him play when I actually liked the NBA.
When would he have been there? Was he was before
80s.
I was going to say, was he with Clyde Drexler?
Yeah, I think he was.
So did he die of cancer or something?
No, he had a stroke a couple of years ago, apparently, and then went into a coma about 2 weeks ago and passed away. What else? Lute Olson.
Give us details, OB.
Lute Olson passed away, famed college coach at Arizona.
Lute Olson, yeah.
And then Chadwick Boseman, the star of Black Panther, passed away, I think, Friday from, a years-long battle with colon cancer.
Who played at Arizona? Jason Kidd? You don't think there was a chance that maybe Jason Kidd, like his whole family got an Escalade or something, do you? Jason Kidd is the all-time assist leader and one of the top 5 three-point shooters in NBA history. UCLA, Michigan, Duke, Carolina. No. I'll go to Arizona. Sure you did.
Arizona
He was a
won,
phenom.
Arizona won a couple of championships.
I don't remember that.
So
You can't
at
prove
least
that.
one.
You can't prove that.
Can.
I don't think they did. So Arthur O'Brien, our buddy OB.
I don't know where the Mango Deck is.
The Mango Deck
Was that on the Love Boat?
beach. It's on Madonna Beach there in Cabo San Lucas. So there was a deadly accident. Yeah, so the Mango Deck, to give y'all an idea, is it's a super shallow adult environment. It's the kind of place where they'll get 8 girls up there who've all been overserved frozen fruity drinks that have too much sugar in them, and they're all wired and hammered. And they get them up there, and then they get some random guy up there, and he's got to give them like a table dance or something. And the crowd rates it with claps. It's very, very sophomorish and very, very embarrassing, and we never miss it. No, you got to go once just to say I went to the Mango Deck, but then you're like, it's not really for me at 50-something.
I'm looking to see what happened.
It would have been great at 25, with a date. But I'm like going, don't look, Donnie, don't look.
A runaway jet ski plowed into the
Mango Deck?
deck, killed 1 and injured 2. Killed a souvenir vendor.
Oh, wow. So that would have actually been like at the Mango Deck, not like up into the deck.
Unmanned, out of control jet ski zoomed into the fence surrounding the restaurant.
Yeah, it surrounds it. So that makes sense. Terrible. The beach there at Cabo San Lucas, the sand is very granular. It's thick, ugly sand to me. And then it just drops off to like 900 feet. Like you walk out and you're like, it's not, whoa! You're up to your neck and water. Yeah, you're choking up. That water looks so beautiful until you're like, coughing it up. Piece of kelp. Yeah. There he goes. Killed a vendor and wounded 2. And then OB ads easily found on Google.
Which I did.
Thanks, OB. You got,
I have heard
you
about
got,
that.
you got any hockey smack for OB? Yeah,
Well, I
Flames
got
suck, OB. Flames suck.
Sharks do.
That's our buddy OB, Arthur O'Brien. He's an Irish guy from Boston.
I didn't see what the Bruins did.
Lives in
yesterday.
Sacramento.
I'll have to look. I don't know if the Bruins played yesterday.
I think he's a liberal serial killer.
Stars beat the Avalanche, so they're up 3-1 in that series. Isles beat the Flyers 3-2. They lead 3-1. And Golden Knights 3-1 lead over the Canucks because they won 5-3.
Is it time for a guy like me who doesn't care at all about hockey to start like chatting up the Stars? Chatting up the Stars. Go Dallas. Come on, baby.
Bruins are down 3-1. They could end it tonight. The Lightning could, and the Stars could end their series tonight against the Avalanche.
Go Dallas. Is it time for the front runner fan to?
Well, you might as well jump on a bandwagon of some sort.
We've talked about the greatness. I don't know how he continues to play so well. Mike Modano just leading the Stars.
Says the Bruins look terrible. I concur. They haven't looked good since the first game of this series.
So let's take a second and regroup here. Let's just have a regroup second with Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's is your go-to tow-to. When your car won't go, you've got a problem, big rig on the side of the road, a Yugo on the side of the road. Just leave the Yugo, okay? A Cadillac on the side of the road. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Ladies, put that in your phone. Pete, we'll talk about Dennis Johnson in just a minute.
Dustin Johnson, not the other DJ, not Dennis Johnson.
Dennis Johnson. That's what Celtics are great.
Back to the
Celtics are 5-0
Sonic's great too.
5-0 in the bubble. Celtics. Who cares? 578-6300.
How does somebody just walk away from a vehicle on the side of the road that ends up with that orange sticker on the window?
I don't know.
I've never understood that.
I've seen them you'll see it on the highway at times. And the sticker, by the way, is meant to be punitive. It's like very, very difficult to get off. I'm going to get to that about something here in the trash in a minute. VCS Companies, Rock and Rollfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer, all part of the Hartman Communication Organization. I had a great conversation back and forth with J.R. Hartman this weekend. And by the way, Ryan's doing great. The family's well. But they focus.
Greg Garcia's 8-year-old daughter says good morning to us.
Hey, good morning.
Howdy, Greg. Good morning.
They focus as a matter of protocol on doing it right the first time. Now, guess what? JR is the one that hears about it when they don't. So in his world, it's like, oh, we got problems. But his problem is he's constantly solving the problem. And that's what we do in business. You spend all your time trying to solve the problems. And nobody does it better than the VCS companies and Rocket and the AT&T retailer. SCT Building Systems.
Which explains our situation in Washington.
Right? They're constantly solving the problems. 564-8864. Reach out to Clayton and Casey Help. You need a metal building of any type, any size. You need a straight-up barn. You need a barn dominium.
You want a patio cover?
A barn with a lean-to. They've got it all covered for implements, whatever. They do it all. 564-8864. Clayton and Casey Help, SCT Building Systems, Chesnick Furniture Company, 100 years in downtown Victoria, 116 West Juan Lynn, corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge.
50% off all furniture to celebrate their 100th birthday.
Bobby Leon and his family have just been doing it for 3 generations, and they're going to be there from now on. So get down there and let it flow, man. You'll like it. Recliners, bedding, Tempur-Pedic bedding, accoutrement, appliances, televisions. So here's the deal. I had to call the city about a week ago. We put out our trash cans. We have 2 of those trash cans.
Yep.
And, they tell you, hey, put them by the street, put them 5 feet apart, because that guy comes with the jaws of life, grabs them, dumps them.
Up they go.
Yeah. Well, I thought we had done it right, but then somebody had come to the house and ended up just ever so slightly being a burden to reaching that trash can. I was gone. I was out of town and got, the text from my mom. And it's just the big orange sticker on the trash can and says, we couldn't reach this, blah, blah, blah. Now, my brain immediately says, as a taxpayer, are you in the trash collection business, or are you in the I'm going to teach you a lesson business? So I called the city. I said, I just got one question for you. I said, I got no problem getting the sticker because it's my responsibility as a homeowner to make sure that the gentleman can reach the can. But if you're going to give me the sticker, if you've got to stop the truck, put it in park, fill out the form, and stick it on the trash can, can't you move the trash can the 2 feet that you need to move it so you can pick it up and empty it? Leave me the sticker. I get it. I need to learn the lesson. Are you going to punish my family for a whole week by leaving that garbage in the can? They were. Past tense, were. Because after that phone call, they sent the guy back by. But I'm like, what are you doing? If you're going to get out of the truck, now I get it. You can say, well, if all we do is put a sticker on there, well, guess what? Maybe you need to reinstitute something. After 3 times, then we're going to send you a ticket. Fine. I'm all for that.
So then they send the truck back. How is that teaching anybody a lesson?
All it did was teach the driver a lesson. It would have been better just to move the can, dump it, and drive on.
Which maybe that was what they were intending.
Right.
I don't know.
But they did it. They took care of it. The City of Victoria does a good job. If you reach out to them with reason, they will work with you. And you can reach out with them during the week if you have a special pickup. They have special pickup days, and they'll come and get your stuff. They don't do that in the county.
No. That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't have those problems in the county because White Trash Services just takes care of it. Yeah, don't you agree? If you're going to get out of the truck,
you got to get out of the truck,
move it 2 feet so you can grab it.
Yeah. So you watched the golf tournament, the PGA stop, wherever it was this week. I didn't watch any of it.
BMW Championship.
Oh, and so bigger ones.
The scores weren't huge. Like it wasn't 39 under to win it, But
no, I think John Rahm. I saw posted shot 64 yesterday.
Yeah, he is par 70 course, so he's 600. And he played well. He was leading. Dustin Johnson birdies like 17, then goes in and birdies 18 to force a playoff. And on the first playoff hole, Johnson's like maybe 30 feet away after his second shot.
And probably sitting there thinking, hey, I'm in pretty good shape. I can 2-putt this for par and maybe win.
Or move on at least. And Rahm hits a ball that lands on the front of the green and rolls all the way to the back. And I was like, wow.
So now Dustin Johnson's sitting there going, I can really
2-putt here
and probably win it.
65 feet away, and Rahm gets over it and just as cool as a cucumber rolls it up one hill, over, down, and goes to the right and just goes right in the jar. I mean, right, he was stunned. It went right, and it wasn't one of those putts, Ash, where sometimes if it, they're leaving the flagstick in. It's like, well, if that doesn't hit the stick, that goes 25 feet by. Nah, it rolled right up to the hole, right in, hit the stick on the way down.
Chris Jansen, good morning.
Correct. There's BJ Nelson says, don't you wish you had White Trash Service? I do, BJ. I'm hopeful that the city of Victoria allows us to have White Trash Services. I do.
Small steps.
I don't believe that there's any way. I could be wrong. I've been wrong. I've even admitted it once, maybe. I don't believe there's any way that the city of Victoria can operate, maintain, blah, 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 all that garbage collection equipment, people, salaries, 401ks, pensions. They should sub that out. No doubt about it. Sub it out. Jeff Fonseca 64 is a ridiculous score there. I don't even know what course they were on, Fonzie. I know that the scores early, guys that were in the top 10 were like, +1, so hang on, we got a caller. We don't get a caller every day.
Not very often. Good morning. Wayne Carter.
It's 575-9509. Is that the number you were trying to call, caller? Do you have a birthday wish for somebody? Okay, we so rarely get a caller. Now, tell us about your blood boiling. We'd love to hear it.
That was for commercial service, right?
Since 1993, man. Okay. That's not in play?
Okay.
There you go. We need to get you on the show and talk about all these different things. But I've had people tell me that the recycling program that we do here in the city is really just to make us feel good, because at the end of the day, the city of Houston is no longer actually accepting all this plastic. And instead of putting it in our landfill, we pay Waste Management to take it to Houston and they put it in Houston's landfill. Is that correct? Okay.
They haven't been buying it for a long time, though. So. $32,000 a month? Oh, 30,000.
$30,000 a month.
Yeah,
Right.
you do.
I really don't. You got that green dumpster out there. I mean, I think it'd be better to teach people to minimize their waste than it is to falsely placate them with, oh, we'll just recycle it.
Well, I know back home, I talked to my dad, and they have separate bins now
Where?
for
Back
your trash
where?
in Canada, not in the Soviet Union.
Okay.
Or the former Soviet Union. They have separate bins for your trash. They have separate bins for this type of recyclable. They have separate bins for this type of recyclable. Some of the things that used to be recyclable are no longer recyclable. So now they just go in the trash. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. And they check on this stuff. So if you throw something in there that shouldn't be in there, they won't take it.
Yeah, it's like they throw your vodka bottle back on your yard.
Exactly.
Well, BJ, great time with you on the show.
Well, they don't know it's a vodka bottle because there's no labels on the homemade stuff.
Right. September 10th.
But potato vodka has a certain odor to it.
September 10th, 7 to 9 a.m. You're going to be here hosting as a voter registrar extraordinaire. You're going to be here to host a voter registration drive-through event. People can fill out the form. You'll take care of all the paperwork for them. And then we'll take their mail-in ballot and vote Republican. Is that? No, not really. No, they can come by. There'll be Brother Gary. There you go. And Brother Gary will be out front with you. We'll probably have to get Brother Gary some kind of a PA system so he can scream at people.
Nice.
You and I'll just, Ash and I'll just keep taking turns going out there and back to check on y'all and grab another brisket taco. Yeah.
That's only 11 days away. Yeah.
11 days away, folks. I mean, today's the last day of August. This year has flown by while we've all been at home.
I mean, we're what, 64 days away from the election? Something like that?
Something like that. How do people get their voice heard if they want to support local business like White Trash Services? How do we get our, besides Wade and Carter, of course, how do we get our voice heard to say, hey, we want the city to choose White Trash Services? I'm unashamed about it. I don't give a flip about waste management. I'd like to have White Trash Services handle our business as much as they can. We can do it.
Okay.
Wow. Well, hey, go have a great day.
Thanks, BJ. Appreciate the call.
Go Tigers.
Bye.
That's awesome. That's BJ Nelson, White Trash Services. Great time to tell you, 550-1826. If
That's
you
the number to
live
call.
in the county or in the 6 surrounding counties or Holiday Beach, Rockport area, you don't have to wait. You can call today and move your business to White Trash Services, 550-1826.
Razor IT Solutions. Give John Paul Hull a call for any of your IT needs. If you want to figure out why you're not performing as well as you thought you would be with your website, generating business leads.
JP Hull for daily use.
Yep. John Paul can figure all that out for you. Razor IT Solutions are the best.
There you go. Reach out to.
I don't understand all they do, but they do it well.
Yeah, no, they're good at it. And he's been getting calls. We'll talk about this off the air. It's not public knowledge yet, but he's been getting calls from some big names of people wanting him to help bring about some change in their web presence. I was impressed. Like, really? Wow, he called you. Cool.
Veracruz Restaurant. Today is the day to get back in. It's Monday. They're back open.
The staff is tanned, rested, and ready after
They
a
are.
long weekend. Get in there. It's like
A long weekend was 2 days.
Dick Nixon in 76.
Felt like a long weekend, though, didn't it?
Tanned, rested, and ready. They will be there waiting for you. Veracruz, you can get Veracruz to go, 576-6015. I still recommend going in. They're doing a great job. The staff wears masks. Everybody's got hand sanitizer. The whole place smells like alcohol.
Bleach.
Yeah, get in there and just enjoy.
You social distance. The only people sitting next to you is an empty table.
Right? Your Tex-Mex favorites are at their best at Veracruz.
Atzenhofer since 1926, Atzenhofer.com. Not since 1926, but as pretty much as soon as the internet was born, Atzenhofer.com came about. You can buy from either location, the traditional physical location
Right there on
on the Navarro Motor Mile, or online at Atzenhofer.com.
Where are they located?
On the Navarro Motor Mile, just down from higher prices.
That's right. It's great stuff.
Chevrolet, Cadillac, Mitsubishi, Mazda, all your favorite pre-owned brands are there as well.
Everybody
Drove by there.
drives a pre-owned car.
Drove by there Saturday on the way to farmers market. Saw some nice looking vehicles in the lot.
Oh, they've got
Great prices. They've got a yellow Jeep there that the price of that was absolutely phenomenal. So if you're looking for a Jeep,
Go by and
that
get
might
it.
be the one, folks.
Go by and get it. Of course,
If it's still there, it was there Saturday.
Dwayne Proctor, GDP Text, 550-4744. And our friends at Compadres just do a great job. In fact, I'm going to reach out to them today just to say hi and get our swag.
Johnny Houghton says when he lived in Kingston, Ontario, you were allowed 1 bag of garbage a week. Didn't matter if you had 1 person living in the house or 5. Any additional bags, you had to purchase a sticker, I'm assuming from the city, that went on the bag. The stickers were $3 each. So basically a $3 service charge for every additional bag. For a service you already pay taxes to provide.
Of course, that landfill costs money. I think that does raise awareness. I'm not such a huge proponent of that, but I'll admit this. If they charged me for $5, I wouldn't worry about it. But if they charged me $10 a week for that extra can, if that can's out here, we're dinging you for $10. I think we'd probably find a way to.
You're reusing a lot of those old
That's right.
yogurt containers.
That's right. I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think that it's got to be and I think that's where the recycling program probably helps, is people are more aware of how much garbage they generate.
Well, but there's a difference too in Canada. When you recycle your bottles, when you buy a case of beer, I don't know what, I think 5 cents,
Like a nickel?
10 cents. I think it's $1.20 extra a case for bottles. 5 cents for cans.
Okay.
So
And then you get it back.
when you get it back when you return them,
Yeah.
But they have bottle depots, and
There's Miranda Tunches.
it's how the homeless and street people make a lot of money. They
Collecting
live
bottles?
they live in the alleys behind bars, and
You know, when I was a kid here, we used to have Coke shows at what now is the Children's Discovery Museum. We used to have, that was the Playhouse Theater. And in the summertime, when the kids had nothing to do, you could take they used to make 32-ounce Coca-Cola bottles. And if you had 3 bottles, you go to the movie for free. It was a great, great program put on by Coca-Cola.
empty bottles.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it was easy because, you know, we used to buy those things for about $1.50, right?
Yeah.
In the plastic flat. And I'm dead. Oh, there you go.
And those plastic flats.
And then you could take 3 bottles and go. And
But those bottles were also rewashable and refillable, right?
Yeah, they what do they call that? Autoclave. They would clay, boil them essentially, and then reuse them. It was a great program.
Did it just become cheaper to recycle them and make new ones rather than doing
glass
that?
Is super cheap. Folks that grew up here will remember that every year they brought in that original Batman movie where Batman's on the Batcopter and
with the
sharks got him. He's got, Robin, throw me down the bat shark repellent. I sound like Barack Obama, but maybe Barack Obama was Batman.
California redemption value is what they called it back at home.
California has no redemption value. I'm ready to give California to just let them be their own little country over there. They don't make anything but avocados and wine.
Still a few states that have bottle deposits, according to BJ Nelson. Yeah, I think Michigan, Maine, Hawaii has one. I remember when, as a kid in Canada, we used to go to a place called the Pop Shop. And you would go in, you'd pick the flavors, put them in the plastic crate, pay for it, come back the next week with your empties, and start again.
So you could get like an Orange Crush and a Big Red and a Dr. Pepper, make your own case.
They were their own. They were the Pop Shop flavors, but orange, lime, Coke. Their Coke sucked. They had probably one of the best orange sodas I've ever had.
There's only
their
one
lime
Coke.
soda was good.
And
their root beer was good. They had a fruit punch that was not quite as good as Tahiti Treat, but it was good. Cheryl remembers the Pick a Pop. Pete Montana remembers the Pop Shop.
Wow.
Except it was spelled Poppe. Shoppe. It was almost like an old English type spelling.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yes,
Canada,
it does.
A country without identity.
And then you take the bottles back, they'd wash them and reuse them and refill them.
Folks. Oh, Canada.
That didn't go in my head. I just ignored you.
Right. The identity-less country of Canada. We welcome them all. Russian immigrants.
So a lot of talk about Kyle Rittenhouse over the weekend.
Yes,
17-year-old in Kenosha who came from neighboring city in Illinois, 15 miles away. They make it sound like this kid went like from 5 states over to cause trouble.
He came from nursery. People.
Basically,
he came from nursery or from Schrader. He was out by Schrader.
A little far.
Right. Oh, Schrader's too far. Yeah, 15 miles.
17 years old, had a gun, might have, and I'm even hearing some debate on this.
Name?
Kyle, which was quickly becoming the male version of Karen.
Right.
For any man that sort of pouted into that. But he's just reclaimed the name Kyle.
Right.
So now they're going to find another one. But
need Aerosmith. Kyle had a gun.
But
terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. People got killed. I don't know. I assume so. Kyle's white, and
the guys he killed. No, he killed 2 white guys and injured a 3rd white guy.
Is that even news of a white guy shoots a white guy?
Well, and here's the thing. From what I've seen over the weekend, he had a gun, open carry, which apparently is law in Wisconsin. He didn't. What AR-15? Hard to conceal that. But I guess you could.
A semi-automatic assault type weapon with military implications.
Which would have been illegal if he was concealed carrying, but he wasn't. He was open carrying. 17 years old. I'm not going to get into all that. I mean, okay, so he might have broken the law and with some federal firearms charges, maybe. I don't know.
What exactly was the situation? What happened? Did they pick on the wrong guy?
Basically, yes. From what all the evidence I've seen, and I know there's probably more out there, but I've waited long enough because the narrative that was quickly spun by the media was that this guy was just picking off Antifa supporters because he went there with a gun and had nothing else to do. And I don't know if she wants me to out her on this, but my wife said, well, blaming him for having a gun there, isn't that like blaming the woman who wears a short skirt to the bar for being raped? Isn't that she had it coming? Isn't that kind of the same sort of logic? If you're going to blame somebody, but he started getting chased. He hadn't done anything to this point. He was walking, my understanding, away from everything and started getting chased. Somebody hurled a bag at him, which originally they said was a Molotov cocktail. It was a plastic shopping bag, which did sort of blow up when it hit the ground, or at least it looked like it. Could have been the bad video as well, and a glare. I don't know, but
urine or something.
Yeah, but who knows? Then they went behind cars, and he ended up on the ground, and that's when he shot the guy in the head. Then he gets up, and he's actually calling 911 to report that he just shot somebody, and was in the process of trying to turn himself in when he started getting chased again. This time by a guy with a skateboard. And again, he got knocked down. The guy took a swing at him with a skateboard, and then he shot him.
Yeah, don't bring a skateboard to a gunfight.
And then the next guy comes up to him, and you can see pictures of this. He's kind of doing this. Hey, dude, it's all right. And then the next minute, he's starting to pull his gun.
He had a gun.
He had a handgun. And he shot that guy in the arm, the right arm.
Right. So here's my
But
question.
the mainstream media narrative was, he went there looking for a fight. He went there to cause trouble.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, you hang out with bad folks and put yourself in bad situations, there's likely going to be a bad outcome. I tend to believe that.
So here's my question. If you're his dad and he walks to the door with the AR-15, son, where are you going? Oh, I just thought I'd go over to Kenosha, see what's going on.
Mom dropped him off, apparently.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so see, right there, I've got parental issues. Not because he's not old enough to make up his own mind about things. At 17, I would hold him accountable for anything that happened and treat him like an adult, especially if he's brandishing a firearm. But here's my question. Forget that you people out there in
Sheriff Louderbeck, let's do that. Let's get you in this week and let's discuss.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I'm going to go ahead and say what my gut thought is, and then if I'm dead wrong, I'll let the sheriff say, well, here's where you were wrong, and that'll be good for all of us.
He was running and retreating away from the situation.
Good for him. Number one, why was he there? Well, he's got a right to peacefully assemble. Okay, I get all that. Why were you there with a weapon if you didn't think that there might be some trouble? I mean, in my mind, he was kind of fantasizing about, I'm going to go down there and intimidate these leftist turds. And one of them called him on it, and he ended up having to change his life forever.
I don't believe that was the case. I saw videos where he said he was going to go help protect the businesses. And let's be honest, if the governor of Wisconsin would have called in the National Guard,
legit point,
might have actually, or
I can respect
this might not have happened.
He was having okay, see now, if he's just there peacefully having a show of force, protecting, say, his high school football buddy's dad's shoe shop.
I don't think that was the case. And I believe under the Castle Doctrine laws of Wisconsin, unless you're an immediate family or like invite friend, you can't just show up to protect somebody else's business.
But at any rate, you see, I think in stereotype.
But I don't believe he shot anybody while protecting a business. From the clips I saw, he was walking away,
defending himself,
and all of a sudden started getting attacked and chased.
Well, I'm just trying to look at the other side of the pancake, because you know that I have very little empathy for these leftist turds. If they deserve to be shot, shoot them.
Well, and these are the Bernie bros.
Yeah.
The first guy he shot, convicted pedophile. I have no sympathy. I feel nothing for this guy's death.
Called karma.
Second guy he shot and killed, apparently a convicted domestic abuser, spousal abuser, not sure. Again, no sympathy for a guy who beats up women or anybody for that matter. The third guy he shot apparently has a rap sheet as well, can't control his drinking problems, and has a bunch of weapons charges.
Don't be too hard on that guy. You as a Canadian should be the last one to throw stones at somebody who can't handle their booze.
Country who per capita drinks more than anybody else in the world. I get your point.
But he should leave that to the Canadians, because they're professionals.
Yeah. There's drinkers and then there's professionals.
Exactly.
Explain to me.
Stand back, kid.
So that's my take on it.
The sheriff will talk about that.
Yeah, no, we will. And there's a lot to it. There were pictures of him earlier when he was there. He was actually cleaning graffiti. And I'm not trying to paint Kyle Rittenhouse as a saint. There are people who say his intent was to go there to kill people. You don't know that.
That's true.
You have no way to know that. And I would argue when I see pictures of him cleaning graffiti off businesses and buildings in downtown Kenosha, maybe he took the gun to protect himself because he knew that at some point his actions of cleaning up graffiti painted by a bunch of idiots on the walls of Kenosha businesses was probably going to be a dangerous situation.
Kenosha hasn't been on the board since John Candy. What movie was that? Where Kenosha?
Yeah, when he was
they were the Kenosha Knicks or something like that. They were a bowling team or something, weren't they?
Polka band, weren't they?
Polka band. That's what it was. We'll get the sheriff to talk about that. We'll also get the sheriff to talk about Jacob Blake and what we think went on with him with his domestic abuse.
Yeah, the first guy he shot, there was video of him going. He was actually antagonizing other members who were there to protect businesses, including black people, by going, "Come on, shoot me, N-word. Shoot me, N-word." The video of him he was doing this. And the guy showed enough restraint to not do anything to him at that point. But you can't tell me that there's a little bit of karma going on here. Convicted pedophile.
Yeah.
And trying to, and these are the Bernie bros.
Yeah.
These are the Antifa folks showing up to loot, riot, destroy.
Once again, it doesn't happen in South Texas because, people's moms have ARs. It just doesn't happen down here. And I like it that way.
And I've heard now that the 3 people that he shot came from a whole lot further away than Nursery to Victoria distance.
Yeah.
So I just don't have a lot of sympathy for those he killed based on, but you know what we're going to hear? They were just trying to turn their lives around.
Well,
that'll be the next. That'll be the way they portray they paint of those 3 guys. Well, they're just trying to turn their lives around.
Had a job interview scheduled for next week. The people down here that hate at that wholesale level, they just all end up in little closed groups where they chat among themselves. There's like 8 or 10 of them. Let's boycott that business. Oh, good. The 8 of you, knock yourselves out. Have a great day. Good luck with the boycotts.
You can knock yourselves out at Uncle Mutt's. End up in a meat coma.
Oh, brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey.
I wonder if you could. I'd like a half pound of brisket. What size would you like? Turkey and ribs. I wonder if you could do that. I don't think you can, but it'd be nice. But you got 23 sides to choose from. I think, at least. Uncle Mutt's opens around 11.
Whenever they want. Don't get there too early. That's the bottom line.
No.
Don't get there too early.
They open about 11 every morning.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Fantastic.
Just some of the best barbecue in Victoria.
Wind services, wind electrical, wind generators. It's generator season. Reach out to Carl Went's team and they'll come out and tell you, well, we can put a generator here. We can tie right into your natural gas. Oh, you're in the country. Well, we've got propane. Boom, boom, boom. They've got the certified plumber to connect. You have to make that connection with a certified plumber. That's just part of the deal. They've got that for you. Other people bring you a generator, then you've got to go pay a service fee for a plumber. Those are the things other people don't tell you. But Went tells you that up front. We've got the guy. We'll take care of it for you. They have solar panels, battery backups. They've got.
You don't have to wait on somebody else's schedule.
Everything. Reach out to them. If you're remodeling, if you're adding on to something, they can do it.
If you're building new,
they
can be your electrical contractor.
Easy for you to say.
Not so much.
USA Concrete Coatings, our buddy Charlie Garcia, 578 Home. I've been on the Mango deck with Charlie Garcia. 578 Home. Let Charlie come out and usually in one day, Ash, they'll take everything out of your garage, you get everything out, clean the floor, sand it down, put down this high-tech polyurethane finish, put in the colors that you want. You're like, you know what, while you're here, let's look at my front porch. Let's look at my back patio. Let's do that room, that mud room. Let's do my utility room in this so I can just rinse it down. Easy. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 Home. Reach out to them today. And then,
of course, done in one day.
Yeah. Somebody who will take more than one day to make sure your party is memorable.
But will make sure that one day event
is perfect.
Comes off absolutely perfect.
928 920-6803. 920-6803. Sorry, Cheryl. Reach out to Cheryl at Gray Barn Design. 920-6803. And let her just make it memorable. Make a great party for you. She can help you with caterers. She's got connections on all this stuff. She's got the direct dial, the hot number to Veracruz and Uncle Mutt's. Do it.
So breaking NFL news, Leonard Fournette didn't play under Coach O at LSU.
Go Tigers.
But he's been released by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Has anybody heard anything at all about how Cam Newton is doing in New England? My prediction was he would either be named the starter or he would be released, that they wouldn't expect him to be a backup.
2,631 yards rushing in 4 seasons with Jacksonville, but last year over 1,600 yards from scrimmage, which tells me he's a bit of a dual threat back. Seems like a lot of yards for a team that struggles to move the football, doesn't it?
A lot.
4th overall pick in 2017, and is now no longer with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I've had a couple of listeners reach out and point out that our buddy Ron Sitka, many of you know Ron from his years at Tessinger, and he writes an article for the Advocate about golf, and he's just a really, really nice guy. Lives out at Colony Creek and plays out there. Pointed out that if you go in and type in, is it Antifa.com, that it automatically transfers you to a Biden-Harris website. Very interesting to me. Now, I don't know. It would be just wickedly humorous if the Trumpers set that up. They bought Antifa.com and then connected it to Biden and Harris.
You know what would be? Well, I think it's fairly, maybe not for me, but I've heard it's fairly easy to just sort of redirect web pages if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mark my words. What you just mentioned, though, I bet you that will become the narrative this week as more and more people become angered by the fact that Antifa is actually probably linked to the Biden-Harris campaign.
Yeah.
Well, somebody in the Trump campaign knew what they were doing and redirected it. That will be the narrative later this week, if not as early as starting today.
Fonzie says Cam will be starting. That'll be interesting.
Well, who else they got?
Well, they have that. What's his name that gives with an S? ST Fonzie on that.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've just noticed this. I'm being sincere with you here. I watched Kamala Harris in the when she was on stage, and you can Google this very easily, folks. Go back and Google up the debates when she was really taunting and minimizing the value of Joe Biden, which is so easy to do. She took the low, easy road, the low-hanging fruit in her debate, labeling Biden a racist and all of that. And you'll notice that
she didn't actually label him a racist.
I'm not saying you're a racist, but your actions show you to be a racist. But what she does, and I don't know if you've noticed this or if you have a chance, I'd love your input. Kamala Harris is extremely intelligent, extremely highly educated, and also, she's got an Indian parents, and she's a very, very smart lady who is extremely articulate. Okay, since she's been named the vice presidential candidate, she's gotten a lot more urban in her dialect. She's got a lot more, we got to do something about this. It ain't right. It ain't right. And she's dropped down to a hip hop level, which somebody the other day said to me, well, she's just trying to court that vote. I thought, how terrible is that we need to sound, she's consciously abandoning her intellect to appeal to a lower fan base, if you will. I think it would be like if Donald Trump said, yo, I've done more for you homies than anybody else. Is that genuine? That's disingenuous. It's disrespectful. To me, it's racist.
I'll be honest, I haven't listened to her.
She talks a lot.
I have no reason to listen to her because I don't believe her platform. So I just,
right.
Why would I?
Steve Kidder points out that Nancy Pelosi is calling, well, why would we have any further debates? The issue has been set. The folks know. They know.
And gave the old passive aggressive. Well, if I was Joe, but he hasn't asked me.
Right. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi.
Well, basketball trifecta. So if these things come in 3, this will be the third one. Legendary Georgetown coach John Thompson Jr. has passed away at the age of 78.
Wait, John Thompson Jr.
Yeah. The guy that coached Georgetown to the national
His
championship
son
in
is
'84.
John the Third.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I did not know that. Jarrett Stidham is the kid from Baylor that's also the Pats' other QB. He is supposed to be like the guy of the future. They were hoping that Cam would be the guy of this year. I look for Belichick to hang it up here pretty quick.
Why would you? You got a pretty good gig. You can cheat your way to championships and not pay the price for it.
Sound like a jealous Cowboys fan, like I am.
Cowboys have never been good enough to win a championship in the last
I'm going
20
to tell
years.
y'all one. I'll tell you one. Cowboys have a guy named Everson Griffin on their team. I don't know what position he plays. Linebacker, I think. Big guy. Everson Griffin, if you're a Cowboys fan, he says in a press meeting the other day, now he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. His name is Everson. He points out that he was named after
safety?
Everson Walsh, thank you, who even I know wore number 24. His nickname was Cubby. He played safety or corner for the Cowboys. And this guy plays pro football.
I think he started as a corner and they moved him to safety when he lost half a step, right?
And he gained a few pounds, eating a lot of steak after that big contract.
But he was a good one.
This guy says, yeah, I was named after Everson Walls, and he played for the Cowboys. I think he was like a defensive back or a linebacker or something. He was a big guy. Now you're named after the guy, and you play on the same team he played on, and you've never just Googled up. Never.
Is he on the Ring of Honor?
No. Never just Googled up Everson Walls to see if he was there.
Jeff Fonseca says Cowboys can't even cheat and win.
Right.
Wasn't it Everson Walls on the catch?
It was Everson Walls who was like a little bit too short for
Dwight Clark.
Dwight Clark on a play that they later tried to say, we practiced that. They probably did, knowing Joe Walsh.
Probably did, knowing Joe Walsh and Joe Montana.
Right.
And knowing they won't. If you think about it,
was it Joe
that
Walsh?
might have been the.
Yeah. It was Walsh. Joe Walsh plays guitar for the Eagles.
That was his name, wasn't it? Not Steve Walsh.
No, Joe Walsh, I think. Steve Walsh was a quarterback that couldn't play for us.
Yeah, because George Seifert came after.
Yeah, Joe Walsh. Is that right?
I think so.
I'm going to type in Coach Walsh. Right about no, not
Walsh.
Steve Walsh.
No, that was a quarterback that couldn't play at or Bill Walsh. Thank you, Matt Oker.
Thank you, Matt Oker.
Yeah. Steve Walsh was a quarterback. Wasn't he the one at Miami that the Cowboys drafted? Thought he was going to be the guy that was going to.
Jimmy Johnson won because it was his guy from Miami.
Yeah.
And then Troy Aikman just said, I'm Troy Aikman.
Yeah. But that play to me was the birth of quarterbacks throwing the ball to an area that only the receiver is going to get to it, right?
100%.
That was the first time you'd ever really heard of that. Aside from maybe the 10-yard out where you threw it, where it wasn't going to be picked off and go for a pick six the other way for the most part. But that was the first play I ever recall when it was dissected afterwards that Montana said, I'm throwing that where I know he can go get it and nobody else can touch it.
Dwight Clark.
Yeah. So
he passed away as well. I think Dwight Clark has passed. He wasn't old.
No.
Folks, we got to get out of here.
We do.
It's Monday. Stay tuned for the Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar, and his sidekick.
Ralph is here. Brother Gary's here.
Brother
DJ
Gary.
Vic is here.
Vic's here, taking up space. Don't know what he's doing.
Might be the eviction crew.
Right? Are they kicking us out? He's got $1. Are we done? We've been kicked out on a day's notice.
Less than that, even.
It could happen. Hey, you folks have a great day. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, folks.
$8 o'clock. Hey!
Morning, gentlemen.
Mahika 95.9. 959. 95. How are you, Grade 1?
You guys doing all right?
Yes, sir.
We'll be in a minute. I didn't get here quick enough.
Nobody's upset with us. We're not doing very well. Leo even told me that. He goes, I used to get calls. You guys look at this.
It's not like y'all, man.
No.
Or maybe I should say not like you.
Right? That's just a role I play. I'm really much nicer.
Just that one.